Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the video. Today we got more news, more leaks, more drama, more rumors, all the good stuff just for you guys. So today, once again, our trusty boy Slasher, the man who has been leaking everything for us, has come out and said on Twitter that the Houston Outlaws have picked up Arhan. Now, some of you guys don't know who Arhan is. He competed with the World Cup Korea 2016. He also competed in Apex's season 1 through 4 with Africa Freaks. He's a very well-known player. There are definitely a ton of questions about this pickup, whether it's good or bad. Did they finally get the Tracer player that they need? We're going to cover all of that today. Also, XQC, he did an exclusive interview today with the Washington Post. A ton of information came out from XQC. He said that he was basically forced off the Dallas field. It was not a mutual agreement. We're going to cover a lot of things he said. We'll give our opinion on it. And then moving on to the last topic. So Harsha, a coach and analyst for the San Francisco Shock, he came out and said a bunch of things about their team. IDDQD, is he perma-benched? How the team will work in the future when Sinatra comes in. He gave us a ton of insight. We're going to cover all of that. And if you're excited for this video, guys, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to my channel. If you enjoy my content, I upload this stuff every single day. You can get your daily dose of Overwatch League news, drama, rumors, leaks, all the good stuff right here. I will also be live on Twitch as soon as this video goes up. So as soon as you're done watching it, come on Twitch, come hang out, talk about the games today, talk about this drama, ask me any questions you want. A ton of people will be there. It'll be a great time. Alright, so let's start it off with the very big news today. Coming out from Slasher on Twitter, he said this: Arhan, formerly of Meta Athena, is set to join Houston Outlaws, sources said. In a follow-up tweet, he also said this: Arhan has a long history with the Outlaws head coach Tyrong. While Arhan's Genji and general projectile play is fantastic, I do not see him fixing the Outlaws' lacking performance on Tracer. Another loss or two for the Outlaws, and I say free Mendo. Well, I agree with Slasher that this might not fix their Tracer problems. It could. It's not like Arhan hasn't touched the Tracer at all. He does have some gameplay on it. Let's go ahead and take a look at that actually. So here we can see Arhan's overall pick rates over the past year. Now this is from Apex Season 2 through Season 4 and any tournaments he played after with Meta Athena. He has 29% of his time played on Tracer, which honestly isn't really that bad. 29%, that's about almost a third of his playtime over the past year spent on Tracer. So he does have experience, and it's against good teams as well. He also has 51% on Genji, and then a lot of time on random heroes like Doomfist, Sombra, Junkrat, Diva, Reaper, and stuff like that. In general, he is mainly a Tracer Genji player. So someone that we could look at who kind of plays this role as well is Prophet, and he's actually very good at both of the roles. So now that we've looked at his overall playtime for the past year, let's take a look at some of his performances recently on Tracer. So in one of his most recent games, he played against GC Busan, October 28th of 2017. His team lost 4-0. They didn't really put up that great of a fight. He went 9-17 on the Tracer, while 22-15 on the Genji, and 7-2 on Junkrat. So not the best performance from him, but overall his team kind of did get wrecked, and it's hard to put up a good stat line when you lose that bad, and you're going up against Shisu Busan, who was on a roll at the time. Moving on to the match prior to that, he played against AHQ Esports Club. In this game, he went 15-11 on the Tracer, 32-15 on the Genji, 6-1 on the Doomfist. So overall, this was a much easier win for their team, and he still only went 15-11 in this game. AHQ kind of got rolled over, and even the Tracer player on AHQ almost had better stats than him. Then moving on to Apex Season 4, where he played against Shisu Busan once again. They lost 0-3. In this game, he went 13-8 on the Tracer, 4-6 on Doomfist, 13-11 on Genji. So overall, his best performance was on Tracer in this game. So that's not too bad considering he's going up against Prophet and Jisoo Busan, who once again was on a roll at the time. His match prior to that, he played against LW Red, who were actually pretty good at the time. He went 15-17 on the Tracer, and actually 52-40 on the Doomfist. Played a ton of Doomfist in that set. Up against Wakid, Nene, who's actually a great Tracer in my opinion. Houston Outlaws probably should have got Nene, but regardless, let's keep talking about Arhan. Decent performance, 15-7. I guess it's alright. Prior to that, against Rox Orcus, this is actually against Striker. He went 6-5 on the Tracer in the set. Striker went 19-15. Here's a very interesting set against Meta Athena where he played Tracer. He went 36-24. This was a very close set, 4-3 in favor of Meta Athena. We see Seiya player who went 60-39 on the Tracer. So we are getting pretty far back here. 36-24, not too bad. Decent performance and a 3-4 loss. Here's a match from Apex Season 3. This was the 3rd and 4th place match against Team Envious. Arhan went 24-9 on the Tracer. Effect went 65-30, which is really good as well. Probably one of Arhan's best performances on that Tracer. So all in all, looking at his past maybe 10 matches, he's had some decent performances on Tracer. Nothing spectacular. And something to note, Tyrong was the coach of Afrika Freaks the entire time that Arhan played on it. And there was also a lot of rumors going around that Tyrong really wanted Arhan on the Houston Outlaws at the beginning of the signings, but he wasn't able to get him on there. And Tyrong even came out and said Arhan was a great player and that he should be in the Overwatch League. He definitely advocated for him. So since Tyrong and Arhan have such a long history together, either Tyrong knows that Arhan can be a great player, he believes in him, and he wants to coach him more. Or there could be hidden intentions and Tyrong just wants to bring him on so he can be in the league. I'm not saying that's true. The first option is more likely, but you never know. It's definitely something that people will bring up and talk about. So my full opinion on this is kind of mixed. Arhan could work out. This could be a genius pickup. The Houston Outlaws could be sitting in a very good situation if Arhan shows up on that Tracer. But if you look at his past history, I don't know, man. It's not that great on Tracer. Sure, he does have time and experience on it, and even games against really good teams like GC Busan and LW Red, but he never had any amazing performances on it. They were all pretty much average or below average. And if we compare back then to now, the Tracers are even 3, 4, 5 times better than they were. So unless Arhan has been really grinding Tracer and working on it as hard as he can during his off time, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold his own, and it's going to be a similar situation to having Jake in there or Clockwork. Now maybe they're picking Arhan up and not expecting to run him on Tracer, which I don't think is likely. I honestly never really thought Arhan's Genji was that amazing. Sure, it was good at points, but he was a very inconsistent Genji. I mean, he would pop Dragon Blades at some of the worst times I've ever seen. And often he was the obvious reason why Afrika Freaks lost games. And this is what started the whole Arhan lol meme. Yes, guys, there is an Arhan lol meme. If you are somebody who followed Apex or the World Cup 2016, just over the past year, Arhan lol, just as much as Jake lol, is a meme. And it is because of those really bad timing blades that he's had and the obvious games that he's really thrown. So all in all, I don't know if this is the right pickup for the Houston Outlaws. There are definitely some other players out there who are really, really good on Tracer that they could have gone out and gotten. One specifically, I already mentioned, Nene, who's playing on New York Excelsior 2's roster. This guy is an absolute beast. He destroyed everybody in Apex Season 4. So again, I have mixed emotions on it. I really don't know what to think or say about this. All I know is I hope it works out for the Houston Outlaws. And if it does, Tyrong and the management, they will look like absolute geniuses for this pickup. But if it doesn't work out, it's going to look pretty bad for the Houston Outlaws. People are really going to be questioning this pickup, and depending on how bad it is, people might be losing jobs because the problem was obvious. Get a good Tracer. Get a good Tracer. That's what you guys need. Everyone knows it. That's what we're all saying. Then they go out and get Arhan, who is questionable. So we'll just have to see how this plays out, guys. I'm very intrigued, and let's move on. So the next topic is the XQC interview that was done by the Washington Post. This is basically the only interview XQC has done in honestly a very long time. Sure, he's done some after his Overwatch League games, but this is the main one that he's done about all of his suspensions, being released from the Dallas Fuel. A lot of insight is in this video, and let's just go ahead and cover some of it. In the very first question, the Post asked, was leaving Dallas Fuel your choice? XQC responded by saying, not really. I think it comes obvious to anyone it was a 99-1 thing. I did try to fight very hard though. So this basically tells us it was not a mutual agreement that he wanted to be released. He wanted to keep playing. He wanted to stay on the team. He fought very hard, but they just weren't having it. They didn't want to have XQC on the roster. They needed to free up space to find more players. Whatever reasons it was not mutual. XQC wanted to stay on the team, and he was forced off by the Dallas Fuel. The next question was, do you act in real life like you act on your Twitch? XQC responded saying, for the majority of the time, yes I do. I have a lot of energy. When I'm comfortable with a certain group or my own, I do crazy stuff all the time. I love it. The next question the Post asked also was a very interesting one. This gave us a lot of insight on what XQC is thinking about pro career, streaming. So the Post asked, some people have pointed out that other players in the Overwatch League who have not been punished routinely drop slurs and insults in their stream, and maybe it's only a matter of time before the league cracks down on everyone. If hypothetically players were banned from streaming entirely or otherwise restricted so that you couldn't be yourself on camera, would you choose streaming or pro gaming? XQC responded with this, before I would say pro gaming because of my competitive nature, but now I would definitely say streaming because of how flexible it is and how fun it can be, making exciting content and things to look out for. Having such a big community is a lot of fun because it opens up tons of avenues for me to play with. This is probably one of the biggest questions for me in this entire interview because XQC is basically saying he is choosing streaming over pro gaming. I know she's saying hypothetically if you can't stream or if your character is being hidden on camera, which is basically what is happening to him. If he were to join the Overwatch League again, he would have to hide who he is on camera. He wouldn't be able to be the streamer he wants to be. So basically here he is saying it. He chooses streaming over pro gaming, guys. We probably won't see him get back into the Overwatch League anytime soon unless he gets really bored of streaming, and I don't see that happening. I've mentioned this in my other videos. DeFran, he went to streaming over pro gaming and he's loved it. Moving on to the next question, which will be the final one I cover here. What's the reaction been like from other league players to what's happened to you? Any of them reach out privately? XQC said a lot of them reached out privately, and the grand majority of them are on my side. They know me and they support me. Them being familiar with the Twitch community also makes it easy to understand how things are and what I meant. So it seems like there are a lot of players in the league who do agree with XQC. Obviously, we all know he's not a racist. That was ridiculous how that was pinned on him. The Overwatch League definitely should have worded the ban differently on him, but it is what it is. XQC dropped a lot of insight and knowledge in this interview. I'm going to link it down below in the description if you want to read every single comment, guys. There are a lot of them. We can't cover them all in this video. I don't want it to get too long. So again, link is down below. Also, come on the stream. Let's talk about it. Come hang out. And let's move on to the last topic. All right, moving on to that last topic of the video, we are talking about the San Francisco Shock. Harsha, he was on an interview the other day. He talked a lot about the team. One of the first things they discussed was the Shock and their new players coming in. Obviously, having Sinatra, Super, Architect, and Moth all come in puts the team at an 11-man roster. So there's definitely a lot of potential for them to sub players in. And he did mention that they had a mindset early on in Stage 1 of Overwatch League that there wouldn't be much subbing and it'd be more valuable to just stick with a core 6 roster and run that mainly. But over the course of the stage and over the season so far, they've seen from other teams that subbing players in could actually lead to really nice results. So they are very excited having Sinatra come in as well as Architect. So if they're DPS players, they plan on swapping them out and in a ton. He mentioned how Dante and Sinatra can run double flanker, and then they can run Dante and Baby because of their existing synergy, as well as the hit scan roll from Baby, and Dante's just really good at that Tracer and Sombra right now. And he also let us know having Dante and Sinatra on the team isn't a bad thing. It's actually a perk. Sure, they do have overlapping hero pools, but there are also things that Sinatra's really good at that Dante doesn't really know, and vice versa. So Sinatra, he's really good at that Zarya. He's known for being one of the better Zaryas in North America prior to the league. He can also play some Soldier, some hit scan, as well as obviously being amazing at that Tracer. Then we have Dante. We keep bringing up the Sombra. Dante's a very good Sombra. He can also play that Genji at a high level. So what Harsha said, there's basically a ton of opportunity for them to mix it up and find what works best and throw other teams off guard. Moving on to their final DPS player, which I haven't mentioned yet, which was IDDQD, Harsha was asked, where's IDDQD at? Why isn't he playing? And Harsha's response was basically Baby and IDDQD, they share the exact same hero pool. But Baby can actually flex onto more things, like the Pharah, the Genji, the Widowmaker. IDDQD's kind of just that Soldier McCree player. And the team overall believes that Baby brings a style of communication and leadership to the team that almost no DPS players in the game can do. And compared to IDDQD, it's just on a whole nother level. So for that reason, he believes that IDDQD won't see much playtime, if any. The last thing we'll talk about is Harsha was asked about a 12-man roster, and Harsha basically said, it's the future. Having a 12-man roster is an advantage to your team. You can do in-house scrims. That way you get the best practice and preparation for another team no matter what. We know they only have 11 players on the roster. Cho Yobin has been rumored to join the team, and more than likely he will be joining, and Harsha kind of dodged the question when asked about it. So I'm going to also link this interview down in the description if you guys want to hear everything that was talked about. There's more insight in it, so go ahead and check it out. And that's basically it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to drop a like on it. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this, guys. I upload videos every single day. Also, the last reminder, I am live on Twitch right now, guys. Come check me out. Come say hi. Ask me about the games today. New York Excelsior Seoul Dynasty, the game was amazing. Talk about this news, everything, pretty much anything you guys want to talk about. It's free game. And I'm out of here, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.